everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Buckeye Blitz podcast. I'm your host, Chad Stryker. Thanks for taking some time out of your day today to listen to what we have to say. We are all about Buckeye football content here, and I like to share what I know, what I believe, and what I think might happen. So, again, if you're new here, I'm not an actual insider. I do subscribe to a lot of the channel information. I watch as many podcasts as I can. I contact people if I think something is coming. I have made some inroads with some folks in and around the Woody. So, take that for what it's worth. So happy Friday to each of you. Glad you're here. Glad you're with us. We call these Buckeye Fridays. It's not in the season, so it doesn't mean as much. Usually there's a game tomorrow when I say that, but still, there's some new news and content to get to today, so thanks for joining me. If you could, hit the like button. It does help us surface with other Buckeye football podcasts and Buckeye football related content. I really would appreciate it. It's very helpful. It's been working, and I can see it in our metrics. So if you could do that. And if you want to know when we're broadcasting either live or when we've produced a new video, subscribe and you'll get an update from YouTube. So thanks for your time today. We do appreciate you. If you are curious or if you're looking for me in other places, I am on Twitter under my name, Chad Stryker. You can find me on there. I do put a lot of content on Twitter, and I focus 98% on Buckeye football. I do a little bit with the Cleveland Indians. I don't do as much as I used to because the football content is kind of a year-round thing with the way recruiting is going now. But if you're looking, and then we also do have a Facebook page. I don't do as much content on there. I do post our podcasts on there, but it's under _Buckeye Blitz podcast on Facebook. So you can find us that way too. So check us out if you're a social media user. I will, again, I say I do significantly more updates on Twitter than I do on Facebook, but happy to have you along either way. So now for the actual fun part of the show where I stop talking about asking you to do things and find things. So if you missed it, if you hadn't heard, Aaron Noland is now a composite 5-star, according to 247, quarterback. The 2024 Ohio State quarterback commit, the lefty. He played extremely well at the Elite 11. He was doing great in some 7-on-7s. So as a result of playing lights out, he's a composite 5-star. Guess who is not a composite 5-star anymore? That's right, Jaden Davis, the 2024 Michigan commit. So that's all I have to say about that. The rankings can be weird. Things can happen. Anybody could be a 4-star or 5-star. Back when I was growing up in the 90s, 5-stars were exceedingly rare. You didn't have that as many as we do per class now, but glad to see Aaron Noland, a composite 5-star. Not surprised because, Ryan Day, the quarterback guru, Corey Dennis, the quarterback guru, they tend to find those guys. So good news there. So on the recruiting front, I mentioned in my last podcast, I wouldn't be doing deep dives into who's doing what and who's where, but I would tell you if there was commitment dates and on people that the Buckeyes are after. So the first one coming up that I know of is actually July 1st. And it's Jordan Johnson-Rubel, the 4-star safety out of IMG Academy. He's a top 150 or top 200 player, depending on what site you use. He's thought to be a Texas lean. OSU's been in it. My confidence meter's at a 1. Honestly, I don't think he lands at Ohio State. It would be a surprise to me if he does. I think he's going to end up at Texas. What I do believe is, personally, is if he ends up at Texas, that does help us with Kobe Black, I think. Just that's my personal opinion. No one has said that. I just think so. And I know I've taken a lot of guff about my belief that Ohio State has a real legitimate shot to bring Kobe Black in this class. But, his parents loved OSU. His dad and mom both understand the process. Dad played college ball. Brother plays at a lower division level. They've been through this process before. So I think Ohio State is right in it. And I'm not saying they lead, but they're right in the thick of it. They might even lead for him. I'm just going to say that. Don't count out Texas A&M either. They've been making a push for Kobe Black. This really wasn't about Kobe Black. It's just the fact that Jordan Johnson-Rubel is committing on July 1st. Then on July 3rd, Marquise Lightfoot out of the Chicago area, high four-star defensive end prospect. He'll make his commitment that day. He's thought to be a Buckeye lean. The crystal balls, even from the Fong, are on Ohio State. It would surprise me if it's not Ohio State. I do believe he's a Buckeye lean. My confidence meter is 7 out of 10. Miami, Bama, Illinois, USC, Georgia, all others in the mix. Things could happen. Miami's got the war chest. But I think being a Midwestern kid, I don't see him leaving for like Georgia or USC. I think it's Ohio State. And I know Illinois has offered him as well, but I think I like Ohio State's chances here, 7 out of 10. Of note, he's committing the same day as Elias Rudolph. He used to play for Cincinnati Taft, and he went to Florida, and I think he's back with Taft. Rudolph canceled his Ohio State visit shortly after Marquise Lightfoot and Edric Houston and others were in town. So that's probably also a good indication that the Ohio State staff knows something about a couple of these guys. So I was asked actually recently to do some comparison notes about some of the players that we may get or we have gotten. So comparison note, if he reminds me of guys that are on the current roster, if you're looking for that, I would say Kenyatta Jackson. It's kind of who reminds me of a little bit. On July 6th, Miles Lockhart out of Arizona, 4-star defensive back, cornerback. Some sites have him listed as a running back. Plays on both sides of the ball. Very athletic, very quick. Prospect. He'll make his commitment. I believe to be a heavy Buckeye lean. The only official visits he's taken has been to Ohio State. He's got offers from around the country as well. My confidence meter right now is 9 out of 10. If you follow me on Twitter, you already knew this because I was predicting a boom that day. He's smaller. He's like 5'8". Probably best fit in the nickel slot. He's only, he's not a big guy. He's about 185. So I do think he has a little bit of filling out to do, but I think he'll probably round out about 190, 195, and that's where he'll play. Steve Wiltfong and many others have him crystal ball to Ohio State, and I'm not going to argue with the Fong. I believe that, and I think he'll be a Buckeye. Comparison note, smaller frame, kind of reminds me of Denzel Burke a little bit. Not as tall as Denzel Burke, but Denzel Burke freshman year would be a good comparison. Leaner, smaller, and quick. So on July 30th, this was all the buzz yesterday. If you haven't heard, Aaron Scott of Springfield, the high 4-star corner, the number 2 player in Ohio behind Bryce West, or flip-flop him, whatever, depending on what site you look at, he's ahead of Bryce West. And it's a battle between Ohio State, that team up north, and Oregon. He's thought to be a Buckeye lean. My confidence meter right now is about a 6 out of 10 because he's committing on his dad's birthday. His dad and mom, if you don't know, are huge Buckeye fans, and basically said if he goes to Michigan, they will wear their Ohio State gear and come watch him play to support him, but they will not wear that ugly maize and blue. And I don't blame him at all. So, for what it's worth. Now, this could be a huge deke, and, he's messing with everybody, but I can't see him doing that on his dad's birthday. What I do know, based off of things that I've been told, is that Aaron Scott is incredibly stressed out, like very stressed out about this decision. He's ready for it to be over. He wants it to be over before August so that he can focus on the season. He's a big corner like Bryce West. He's probably even bigger than Bryce West in the lower half. He's an absolute stud. He'll hit you. He'll stick his head in there. He's not afraid to smack you. And if you were looking for a comparison note, there's not anybody I could think of like on the current roster that made a lot of sense. So I ended up with Jeff Okuda, would be who reminds me of. Some people have said maybe Marshawn Lattimore, but you know, uh, not a terrible comparison. So then just those are the three that I wanted to focus on for this show, and then of course the Jordan Johnson Rubel thing. I don't think that works out in our favor this time. Kind of watching for some others. I do think Kingston Bayal Mamasa will set a commitment date sooner rather than later. I think he ends up a Buckeye thanks to James Laurinaitis. And if you didn't catch the article from 11 Warriors about James Laurinaitis, and if you have a chance, go ahead and read it and what an impact he's already made on the linebackers. Man, it's good to have him back. He's definitely beat some teams in his time, so including Michigan. Just a quick reminder, we're kind of technically in the dead period for team activities, so there isn't actually that much going on. The coaches are away, and the organized recruiting and practices are kind of on a break. So just maybe some summer conditioning and stuff happening. So I'll keep you updated on kind of what's going on with the team and so on and so forth as we move forward. But we are technically in a dead period. And then the last thing I'd like to remind everybody of, if you didn't see it on social media yesterday, the Foundation, who's the main NIL collective that I support, now has come out with a vodka, and the proceeds go towards Ohio State's NIL, so it's going to be in local grocery stores and local liquor stores here in Ohio. So if you don't want to go directly to their website and buy or set up a recurring donation or do just a direct donation to NIL because you think it's silly, you can get something for your money and go buy vodka. Now, I do a recurring donation. I believe in it. I think it's awesome that they do that. I've told some friends because they've asked me about it. I was like, look, I'll give up a couple cups of Starbucks coffee a month if it helps keep Ohio State on top and winning. So, you can do as little as $5, I believe, for recurring donations a month. So you can skip a Starbucks line once a month, and you can, set up your donation to the NIL. Now, I'm not suggesting to anybody how to live. I don't want somebody to say, well, it's easy for you to say or whatever, money's tight. Fine, I get it. So if you wanted something for your money and you enjoy vodka, that's one way to support the NIL. But honestly, in my mind, many hands make light work. So the more people that get involved and do this stuff, the better off we're going to be in the long run. Because I want a state-of-the-art NIL center to be built in Columbus, because this isn't going away. Alabama's working on one. I want to be with the top tier. It's a big deal to me. I want to see Ohio State keep winning. But that's it. That's going to do it for me today. I'll get off my soapbox about the NIL thing. If you know me, I've been on it for a while. So on Monday instead of Tuesday, because Tuesday is the 4th of July, I'll be doing a Q&A Monday. So fire off your questions. I'll try to answer them. Drop them in the comments. Send me a message on Twitter, Facebook. Any of those ways is great, and I'll get to them and I'll do them live, and the best that I can. I'll say it that way here on our channel. So, if you're doing any 4th of July activities, stay safe out there. Okay, I have a couple friends who are firefighters and EMS, and this is always a silly time of year for crazy things and people ending up with their fingers blown off. So be careful, stay safe. Hopefully you see you Monday. If not, enjoy the 4th, your freedom, and enjoy the weekend. See ya. Go Bucks.